Let's get weird into it. Number 10. The Pigment Factory. Look in the mirror. See that hair on your head? Every single strand, whether it's black, brown, blonde, or a shade of red you paid a lot of money for, is a tiny colored tube. It's not painted on the outside like a cheap fence. The color is baked in from the very beginning, deep beneath your skin in a microscopic workshop called the hair follicle. Inside this follicle, you have a team of highly specialized, tragically underappreciated cells called melanocytes. Think of them as tiny, dedicated artists, obsessively mixing up your own personal brand of pigment. They create two main colors, eumelanin, which gives you the dark, moody blacks and browns, and pheomelanin, which is responsible for the fiery reds and yellows. Your unique hair color is just the specific recipe these little guys are cooking up. As a new hair shaft is being built, these melanocytes inject their pigment into the growing keratin cells, like microscopic squirt guns filling a water balloon. The color gets locked inside the hair as it grows up and out into the world. It's a beautiful, efficient system, a conveyor belt of life, churning out perfectly colored strands day after day. This factory is open 24/7 with no holidays and terrible pay. And for a while, everything runs perfectly. The artists are happy, the supply chain is stable, and your hair looks fantastic. For now. Number 9. The backup generators. The factory is impressive, but it's also fragile. Your melanocytes, the little pigment artists, get old. They work themselves to death, burn out, and eventually just stop. If that were the whole story, you'd probably be completely gray by the age of 30. But your body, in its infinite and slightly weird wisdom, planned for this. Tucked away in a special little neighborhood of the hair follicle called the bulge, you have a secret reservoir. This is a vault of melanocyte stem cells. These aren't the artists. They're the seeds of future artists. They're sleeping. They are the pristine, untouched backups, waiting in cryogenic stasis for their big moment. Every time your hair goes through its natural cycle of growing and shedding, a few of these stem cells get the signal. They wake up, migrate down to the base of the follicle, and mature into brand new energetic melanocytes, ready to take over for the ones that just retired to a cellular Florida. This ensures that when the next hair grows in, it has a fresh crew of painters ready to give it that signature color. This is your biological inheritance, a savings account of color, meant to last you a lifetime. It's a perfect system of regeneration, a foolproof plan. Unless, of course, something comes along and robs the entire bank at once. Number 8. The red alert. Imagine you're driving. Suddenly, a car swerves into your lane. For a split second, the world slows down. Your heart feels like it's trying to punch its way out of your chest, and your entire body tenses up. You yank the wheel, narrowly avoid a collision, and pull over, shaking. That feeling? That full-body electric jolt of pure panic? That's your sympathetic nervous system. It's your body's alarm system, the fight-or-flight response. It's an ancient, primal circuit designed to save you from being eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. But now it mostly gets triggered by looming deadlines, terrible traffic, and reading the news. When this alarm goes off, it doesn't mess around. It floods your body with chemicals to make you faster, stronger, and more alert. One of its primary weapons is adrenaline. But it also deploys adrenaline's angrier, more persistent cousin, noradrenaline, also known as norepinephrine. Think of it as the nervous system's special forces. Nerves from this system snake throughout your entire body, wrapping around every organ, every blood vessel, and yes, even every single hair follicle. They are the silent sentinels, waiting for the signal to unleash chemical chaos. When you experience intense stress, whether it's a near-death experience or a week of soul-crushing anxiety, that signal is sent. The alarm is pulled, and the sentinels guarding your hair follicles are about to do something very, very stupid. Number 7. The Chemical Tsunami. When your body sounds the fight-or-flight alarm, it doesn't do it quietly. It's not a polite suggestion. It's a system-wide scream. The sympathetic nerves connected to every hair follicle dump a massive flood of noradrenaline directly into that delicate ecosystem. This chemical isn't a precision tool. It's a sledgehammer. It's designed for immediate, life-or-death survival, and it has zero concern for your long-term cosmetic plans. The noradrenaline soaks everything in the follicle. It's not just targeting the muscle that makes your hair stand on end. It seeps deep down into that special neighborhood, the bulge, where your precious sleeping stem cells are stored. This is the equivalent of a SWAT team throwing flashbang grenades into a library. The noradrenaline slams into the stem cell reservoir, and the sleeping cells don't know what's happening. They're getting a chemical signal so powerful, so overwhelming, that it completely hijacks their programming. The message they're receiving isn't, wake up a few of you for the next hair cycle. The message they're receiving is, everyone get up right now. The world is ending. And in a way, for them, it is. Number 6. The Great Evacuation. Under the onslaught of noradrenaline, every single melanocyte stem cell in the reservoir is violently activated at once. It's a forced, panicked awakening. Imagine a fire alarm going off in a dormitory at 3 a.m. No one is thinking, they're just running. That's what your stem cells do. In a frantic, chaotic rush, they all begin to mature. They convert from pristine, immortal stem cells into short-lived, mortal melanocytes. They leave their safe house, their protected vault, and migrate away. All of them. Not just the few needed for the next hair, the entire supply. It's a mass exodus. The bank vault is thrown open, and every last dollar is forced out onto the street. The backup generators are all switched on at the same time, burning through a lifetime's worth of fuel in a matter of hours. This is a biological scorched earth policy, triggered by a panic attack. Your body, in an attempt to save you from a perceived threat, has just ordered the irreversible destruction of its own color factory. It's a catastrophic, one-time-only event. And the worst part is, you won't even see the damage right away. Number 5. The final masterpiece. So, where do all those newly awakened pigment cells go? They swarm the base of the hair follicle, creating a massive, overqualified, and temporary workforce of color artists. Your body has just burned through its entire savings account of future color, and for a very brief period, it uses that energy to throw the most spectacular pigment party of all time. The hair currently growing in that follicle gets an absurd dose of pigment. It might even come in a little darker. It is the Mona Lisa of that single hair's life. A final, glorious burst of color before the lights go out for good. It's the supernova of your hair follicle, shining brightest right before it collapses. But this frantic hyperpigmentation is happening deep under your skin. You don't see it. All you know is that you're having a really, really bad week. Meanwhile, your follicles are frantically using up every last drop of their color-making potential. They are painting their one last masterpiece in the dark. And then, after the party is over, and the last of these short-lived cells dies off, there is silence. The factory is empty. The artists are gone. And the vault of seeds that was meant to replace them is now just a hollowed-out chamber. Number 4. The ghost town. When that hair, the one that received the final glorious blast of color, naturally sheds, the follicle is ready to start a new one. The growth cycle begins again. Your body sends the signal to build a new strand of keratin. It sends the signal to wake up a few new melanocyte stem cells to come and color it. But nobody answers. The signal echoes through an empty reservoir. The vault is barren. The savings account is at zero. There are no more stem cells to call upon. They were all spent during that one single stress-induced panic. They evacuated, matured, did their one last job, and then died off, with no replacements waiting in the wings. The follicle can still make a hair. The keratin factory is working just fine, but the coloring department has been permanently shut down. It's a ghost town. The machinery is all there, but the artists and the seeds of future artists are gone forever. It's like a bustling city that was completely, silently, and permanently evacuated overnight. And now a new hair begins to grow from this abandoned place. Number 3. The empty canvas. So what happens when a hair is built without any pigment? It's not actually white. It's not gray either. A hair with no melanin is translucent. It's clear. It's essentially a hollow, colorless tube of protein. You see it as white or gray for the same reason you see snow as white. It's not because the individual snowflakes are white. They're clear, frozen water. It's because the light entering it is scattered in all directions by the complex structures within the keratin. Your eye interprets this scattered light as white. This new hair, growing from a depleted follicle, is a ghost. It is a monument to a past trauma. It's the physical evidence of that chemical tsunami, a permanent record of the moment your body's alarm system went haywire and sacrificed your future color for a fleeting sense of survival. Every gray hair on your head is a tiny, silent tombstone for a colony of stem cells that were scared to death. Your body is literally memorializing its own stress, and it's doing it right on top of your head for everyone to see. Number 2. The Marie Antoinette problem. You've heard the stories. Marie Antoinette's hair supposedly turned white the night before she was to be guillotined. Prisoners of war, survivors of disasters. Tales abound of people going gray, overnight. For a long time, this was dismissed as folklore, because biologically it seemed impossible. Hair that has already grown out of your head is dead. It can't change its color any more than your fingernails can. So how could this happen? The science we've just discussed explains the start of the process, the destruction of the stem cells for future hairs, but it doesn't explain the overnight effect. The answer is likely a gruesome two-part process. First, the intense stress causes the stem cell wipeout we've described. But second, that same severe stress can trigger a condition called telogen effluvium. This is where your body, again, trying to conserve resources for survival, prematurely shoves a massive number of your hairs into the shedding phase of their cycle. And which hairs tend to be shed most easily? The thicker, healthier, pigmented ones. So, you have a double whammy. The stress is killing the future of your hair color, and it's making your current colored hairs fall out at an accelerated rate. What's left behind are the gray and white hairs that were already there, but were less noticeable. Suddenly, they're all you can see. It's not that your hair turned white overnight. It's that all its colored friends left the party at once, leaving the ghosts to rule the dance floor. Number 1. The point of no return. So this is it. The big question. Is it permanent? Once the stem cell vault is empty, is it empty for good? According to the foundational studies done on mice, the answer was a resounding, depressing yes. The damage was done. The evacuation was final. The process was irreversible. The noradrenaline-induced activation of those stem cells was a one-way street, a biological bottle rocket. Once you light the fuse, it's gone. This paints a pretty bleak picture. Every major stressor is like a little thief, sneaking in and stealing a handful of your color seeds, until one day you look and they're all gone. But here's a weird glimmer of hope. A more recent study on actual humans found something bizarre. They found that in some cases, when the source of stress was removed, say, a person went on a relaxing vacation, some of the gray hairs actually started to regrow their original color from the root. This suggests that for some people, under some conditions, some of those pigment cells aren't completely gone, but maybe just dormant or suppressed. The mechanism isn't understood at all. It seems to contradict the very clear biology of the stem cell wipeout. So which is it? Is your hair a permanent, tragic record of every bad day you've ever had? Or is it a dynamic timeline that can, on occasion, be revised? Maybe the truth is both. Maybe some stress is so severe it causes a permanent extinction event in your follicles. And maybe other, lesser stresses just put the artists into a temporary, reversible coma. Your head, it turns out, is a living history book of your anxieties, with some chapters permanently carved in stone, and others, just maybe, written in pencil. And that's our time for today. More strange things are always coming, so I'll see you in the next one.